So I find that psychological safety is so critical, and it's also largely to do with the whole person, the human being that is coming to work. Part of what creates an environment that then allows the individual to thrive is the leadership. The Wellbeing project has a mantra that well-being leads to well-doing. When a leader is well, people are well. And there's healing in the space, there's an open environment. We do away with insecurities that we come with to the workplace so that we go on living life with. But when a leader is wounded, traumatized, hurt, broken, whatever, and maybe has not dealt with that, it will definitely go to the people and impact the work environment. There will be insecurity, maybe limited communication, lack of access to information, unhealthy boundaries, and all those things. So all those things then make up a healthy work environment. So let me give an example of Emerging Leaders Foundation. I would say maybe 70 to 75% of our team members are below 30 years old, and maybe just a small number are above the age of, let's say, 40. And we're noticing there are differences in terms of how this other generation wishes to work and how the younger ones wish to work. And so we decided, hey guys, things are different here, so how do we handle this? As a leadership, we sat down and said, let's listen to everybody. What do they wish to see? What are the challenges? And get to listen, and some of the challenges are actually then speaking to the leadership. So as a leader, am I secure enough to receive feedback that is constructive about how I'm impacting or how my being is impacting the workplace? And am I open enough to learn how to change that or how to navigate that to then create a psychologically safety environment for people to thrive, for me to thrive, and for us to have impact that is lasting.
What are some of other indicators that would show that all is not well? Because I imagine from sort of a coaching perspective, you'd have some more.
I realize that communication is in everything with life and in life. Personal, communicating with self, communicating with other people, communicating with family, friends, workmates, colleagues, and all that. So when there's a lot of communication, that's great. Like even over communication is better than less communication or no communication. Then it would mean there's a problem somewhere. So communication is one key indicator that will tell us whether the environment is good, people are well, or something is off. I think the health of individuals and colleagues is also a good indicator. Are people always away? Or are they actually productively engaging? Let me share an example of something that happened in our organization during the COVID period. One of my colleagues came to me and said, "Oh, Karen, we've never worked from home, and I do not know how this will be, but I want to know, have you taken time to speak with individual staff members to just know how guys are doing?" I said, not necessarily, not in the recent past. And I said, is it important? And he said, yeah, it's important. Please do that. And I said, let me start with you. How are you? The guy opened up. What he shared shocked me. And I said, you know what? The next 5 days, I have to meet with individuals outside of the workspace to just know how are they doing, how are their families, what is the state of their hearts, minds, bodies, souls, spirits. And out of that, oh my goodness, we learned about so much that was happening, people grappling with the effects of COVID at a family level, personal level, in the workspace. We then made a decision, let's go work from home, but facilitate certain things to make sure different personality types still get to thrive even while working from home. Out of that, we decided to start something that we call Shadow CEO. So each and every team member has a roster, a week when they get to become the Shadow CEO. So I go to meetings with them, they attend our management meetings, make decisions, negotiate sometimes even on behalf of the organization, pick lessons, and then at the end of the week, they prepare a report, pass on to myself and the management, and then part of the report give to the incoming Shadow CEO. And this is also just a way to ensure that everybody is a leader. So can we tap into the unique capabilities of individuals within the organization, whether somebody is an office messenger, a program officer, or something like that? That is really important. And personally, I have learned so much about leadership and about things to do, things not to do from, this whole process. And I love the fact that, so I was away from work for like slightly more than 2 months. My colleague Stella, right here, was our acting executive director for that period. I didn't need to bother about anything because then I know Stella and her team and our colleagues have everything under control. So that is still the process of just making sure we are able to do succession planning, pass on the baton, and all that. But something else that we came up with was therapy. We kept talking about the fact that it's possible we have traumas, and maybe in the current life or in childhood, and stuff like that. And so we have discussions in the office. We bring facilitators to speak to us, but then some things we said no. Let the individual go and seek help on their own in confidence, and let them be supported to grow, to heal, and all that. But then we didn't have that as part of a medical cover. And so as a management, we sat down, made a decision that, this is part of the medical cover. It's unlimited for team members. And we support team members to actually seek that support. Something else that we do is Fridays, we call it the Wellness Friday, where one Friday afternoon is a free afternoon, go home, rest. Another Friday is a workout Friday. We go to Karura, do different activities, run, jog, and all that. Another Friday, we call it a book club Friday, where we read different books, then come together as a team and really debate. And that helps us to grow in many ways as individuals and as a team, to also innovate in our programming as we work with young people. Another Friday is just a movies Friday or indoor games, where we sit together, watch particular movies or play indoor games, and learn from each other, get to bond. And then recently we decided to introduce something called the buddy groups, where we subdivide people according to different personality types, but different departments as well, to just be able to bond even off the workspace, get to know each other, get to support each other, hold each other accountable. And finally, we facilitate skills development internally and externally for our teams, because one of the things I believe is that for the period team members are working at Emerging Leaders Foundation, they surely need to thrive. That as we support young people to find their voice, be awesome leaders and lead change in the different spaces, let the change first begin with us before it even goes out there. And so we try to learn from each other and to facilitate that inner change happening within our own lives. For instance, just connecting the work we do with our personal purpose in life, because then I've realized that when people are pursuing purpose, then work becomes easier, productive, and even more innovative and fun. Yeah, so those are some of the practical things we do, especially to just facilitate communication, because when things are not well in the workplace, then even the work you're doing is not sustainable at all.
Completely.
Yeah. And I know many of us feel like when we prioritize ourselves and our well-being, our self-care, self-love, that is being selfish. It's actually not selfish. It's so important, because then how well we are then determines how productive we are, and even how qualitative life we are able to live or not. So self-care is really key. So I would encourage every leader here, every human being, please prioritize yourself, put yourself at the center. Let us not just pour from empty, let us not pour from empty cups at all. Let us pour and give from the overflow. Something else that I'd like to talk about is definitely love. I feel like love is something really powerful, that if it's such a big force of change. And I would say, let's experiment a little more with love and just see how far. And I believe we'll go really far with love. Love is really powerful. So love for self, to be able to then love other people and serve other people well. So those two things.